Hi, I hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to NikkoVenture. Today, let me share with you my daily work routine as a certified care worker here in the land of the rising sun. It's important to note, however, that there are different work shifts in a typical Japanese elderly home. In my facility, for example, there are 4 shifts, namely Hayade, Nikkin, Osode, and Yakin. In this video, I'll share with you the work routine of a morning shift, or in Japanese, Hayade. Unfortunately, I would not be able to show you the actual workplace from the inside, but I will, in the best of my ability, show you a clear picture of a morning shift work routine of a caregiver in a special or intensive nursing care facility, or in Japanese, Tokubetsu Yogo Rojin Homu. So without further ado, let's begin. But first, let's define this. In Japanese, it's read as Hayade, or early out. That's because morning shift, at least in my facility, typically starts at around 7 a.m. and ends at around 4 p.m. Some Japanese may tend to use this instead of this. This is read as hayabang, or literally means early shift. Different characters, but the same meaning. Now, assuming you didn't oversleep, the first thing you should do upon arriving in your workplace is to change into your work clothes. It's important to note, however, that not all Japanese companies will provide you with work clothes or company uniforms. In my facility, for example, we were not provided with company uniforms or work clothes. We bring our own work clothes with name tags on it. Then, after you change into your work clothes, you time in. That is, you log your shift in. Don't forget that if you want to be paid. Some companies have this biometric or fingerprint machine. Some, however, like mine, still use the prehistoric pen and paper. After that, you should go to your floor at an absolute minimum of 5 minutes before your shift starts. Company policy regarding this varies. Some strictly follow the 15-minute early rule, while some don't. The bottom line is, do not be late. Once the clock hits 7 a.m., it's time to do your job. The first thing you should do is to wake all the still sleeping residents up, politely. At this time, most of the residents are fully awake, already sitting in their respective seats in the hall. However, there are still 3 or 5 people that are still sleeping. Wake those people up politely and assist them towards the wash area, politely. It is in the wash area that the residents would groom themselves if they're capable. Otherwise, you should help them rinse their mouth, fit their dentures, comb their hair, and the like. After that, straight to their respective seats to wait for their breakfast. While waiting for the food to arrive, you will be distributing warm hand towels to the residents, or in Japanese, oshibori. You will also be disinfecting their hands using moisturizing disinfecting spray. Then, you set their tables. So yeah, when the food arrives, it's the job of the hayabang, or the morning shift caregiver, to check the food or fluids before distributing it to the residents individually. So imagine if you have 30 or more residents, you will be distributing the food from the first person to the 30th person. There will always be a resident who is physically incapable to eat by themselves. In that case, you have to assist that resident or those residents. It may range from 2 persons to 10 persons. It is important to remember, however, that at this time, you will be accompanied by an outgoing night shift staff. He or she is in charge of the morning medicines until the nurse arrives, as well as clearing up leftovers and dishes. You, the hayabang, the morning shift caregiver, is in charge of post-meal oral care and bathroom assistance. After that, together with the outgoing night shift staff, you will have to lay the residents to rest. Lay them to bed. Next, recording. I couldn't emphasize this more. Your shift, regardless whether you're Nikkin, Hayade, Osode, or Yakin, is hectic. Absolutely hectic, in fact, that a slight deviation from your work routine, such as unforeseen accidents, will definitely, inevitably, extend your work hours. And most of the time, those extended work hours will be unpaid. That's why time management is of utmost importance. And if you have time to spare, use it for recording. How you record the events on your shift varies depending on the company policy. But as far as I know, most if not all Japanese elderly homes use computers for recording. In my case, I usually do my recording a maximum of 30 minutes for a minimum of 10 patients. No, 10 residents, not patients. This is not a hospital. I know what you're thinking. 30 minutes for 10 residents? How? I also thought it was impossible at first, but even if you are recording in Japanese, there's actually a pattern on how to make your recording as short and precise as possible. Don't worry, your seniors, likely Japanese, will teach you how. Recording, or in Japanese, kiroku, is a vital part of our job as a care worker. It protects not only the residents, but you, the care worker as well. But don't let it eat at your time. Remember that you're only being paid for 8 hours. Beyond that, even a single minute is unpaid work. You can't apply for an overtime if the reason is poor time management on your behalf. Dedication at work is not measured by how many unpaid hours you give to the company, but how efficiently you provide quality service and still be able to go home on time to rest and prepare for the next day. Japanese tip. As I've said earlier, most nursing homes in this country utilize computers for recording. As a matter of fact, I've been in a facility where the staff uses an iPad, a literal iPad, for recording. It's very convenient because you can bring it with you anywhere in your floor. So if you're planning to come and work here as a care worker, before actually coming here, give yourself a chance to brush up on your computer typing skill. Remember that Microsoft Excel and other applications are programmed in the Japanese language. So if you're not good at typing, it would really be a lot more difficult for you since you will still have to read and think what you're about to type in Japanese. This is not only applicable for foreigners. I've worked with several Japanese who find it difficult to record on a computer, but they're way past their 50s, so they have their excuse, I think. But if you're still young, like me, what's your excuse? So going back, as a morning shift care worker, the bulk of your shift, at least in my workplace, is all about post-meal oral care and bathroom assistance. Normally, residents will have at least a minimum of 3 toilet visits within your shift. However, polyuric residents tend to have more than that. Obviously, typically after assisting the residents to the toilet, you will have your 45-minute lunch break. I'm not really sure about the other facilities, but here in my facility, we have 2 breaks. One long break, at least a 45-minute break, and another short break, a 15-minute, very short break. Unpaid. During your break, the residents will also have their lunch. So upon returning to your floor, it's time for another round of post-meal oral care and bathroom assistance. Yeah, bathroom! Here we go again! As a side note for oral care, some residents are still able to brush their teeth on their own. Otherwise, you have to wrap your finger in a medicated gauze and use it, your finger, to swab the insides of the resident's mouth. Be careful though, because some of these residents still have teeth remaining, real teeth, not dentures, and they may bite your finger off.
Ow! Ow, Charlie! Ow!
After that, if you have time to spare, again, do your recording. If you already did that, go and help your workmates, but only do so if you're 200%, 500% sure that you've already done all your tasks at that time. Then, it's time for the most useful, the most needed short break in your shift, the 15-minute break. After your break, you go back to your floor, obviously. At this time, most of the residents have already had their afternoon snack, or in Japanese, oyatsu. It's the equivalent of the afternoon tea time in Britain and merienda in the Philippines. So yeah, since the residents had already eaten again, it's time for another visit to the bathroom, another bathroom assistance. That's the third and the last time you'll have to assist the resident to the bathroom within your shift. So it's almost 4 p.m. It's almost the end of your shift. You've been in the toilet with some old people for 8 hours. But wait, there's more! Did I forget to mention that there are residents who don't use the toilet? No, I'm not talking about bedridden individuals who use adult diapers. No, I'm talking about the residents who have their own portable toilets inside their respective rooms. And it looks like this. Yes, that's a thing because some residents prefer it that way. They prefer the privacy. So before you go home, put on some gloves, double gloves if you have to, and clean those portable toilets. After that, one final sweep for any unfinished tasks, and you're done for the day. Pack up your things and say, change your clothes and get the hell out of there. So that's it. That's the morning shift or hayade or hayabang in a special or intensive care nursing home. If you have enjoyed or learned something in this video, please leave a like and comment. And of course, share this video to a friend. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It would really help the channel a lot. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Babush! All the residents are fully awake, already sleeping. Awake na gani, di ba? The first person to the 30th person. However, polyoric.